Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Genshin Impact, a game that I am thoroughly enjoying. Also, holy shit, I did not notice that Razer has scars all over his body. Yeesh, that is rough. Jeez, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be showcasing to the best of my ability Razer. Now, there will be a part 2 of this when I have quote-unquote perfected him, but right now we are sitting on Constellation 1, or 0, of Razer. I have all of his Constellation, but I've been waiting to upgrade him so I can make this video and upgrade him and see what the difference is, which I think is going to be vast. But we're going to be talking about Razer, but the only thing that Razer doesn't have going for him right now is the best artifacts. I got some that are okay, but not the best artifacts. Scaling his crit, scaling his physical damage and attack to be pretty high. That's how you probably should build Razer. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this. Also, by the way, just so you don't know, a quick synopsis of Razer: he is one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. But the only thing that he kind of lacks is his selfish-ish nature. He's a lone wolf, which basically means you can only really play Razer to get the most out of his damage. Or there are some DPSs which are like, they can basically pop off and then leave and then come back and you won't waste anything. But with Razer, a lot of his damage comes from his amazing ult, which if you switch off of him and come back, it'll end. And you cannot share his ult with another. But you're also rewarded with an insane amount of attack speed. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritty statistics in a hot minute. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us get into Razer. So by the by, my Razer is level 70, so things will just keep getting better as you level him up. He scales immensely every single time you level him up, increasing your physical damage. So if you get him all the way up to 80, you're going to have a huge buff to physical damage as well. Now also, the weapon that we're going to be using in this showcase is a level 70 prototype Animus with 3 refinements, not the worst, pretty okay. Again, his artifacts are running with a little bit of attack and of course elemental burst. The elemental burst there is I'm only using the Wanderer's trope because I have a one that has a lot of physical damage on it. But anyways, let's get into Razer's talents because it's huge. First of all, he's a Claymore user. Claymore users in this game are godsends. Not only does it feel so good to throw around this huge slab of metal and it just wrecks, but it actually has this thing in the game that is a built-in stagger. So you have a tendency to juggle enemies with these kinds of weapons, or at least with Razer you can, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But basically, because you're taking this giant sword and embedding it into somebody's head, it throws him around a ton. So that's awesome. Now he's a 4-strike combo, but he's one of the few characters in the game that can achieve a ridiculous amount of fire rate or attack speed. So yeah, that 4-hit combo happens very quickly if you level him up. And by the way, Razer's basic attacks scale so well. Like crazy good. And yeah. Now, onto Razer's talent, Claw and Thunder. This is amazing. This thing comes back in just so quickly, but that's also because it has a hold functionality and it synergizes within that. So basically, Razer does an electric claw. Now, every single time you make contact with something, it bleeds and creates an electric sigil. It's kind of like this floating electric spark right beside you. Now, you can have a maximum of 3, and what that sigil does is it increases your energy recharge rate by a whole lot. Also, if you happen to max out 3, it will refresh constantly if you keep using the ability, which this ability comes back in 5 seconds, so you're going to be spamming it a crazy amount. Yeah. Now, its hold ability plays in, like I said, with its press. So essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to gain electric charges with your press, just claw, and they'll be there in no time. And then you can actually hold down your claw and it will smash his claw into the ground, dealing, it says, a small AoE. Bullshit. It's a pretty generous AoE of electric damage all around Razer. Not only that, but it cleanses Razer of all his sigils. But this massively replenishes your ult. So this is kind of hard to mess up as well. If you just have your sigils just kind of floating around you, you're getting energy recharge. Go team. But if you happen to spend all of your energy, then you're also getting a ton of your ult back, even more energy recharge. So needless to say, it's just fantastic, especially considering what our ult is, and our ult facilitates us also getting electric charges as well, which increases our recharge rate, allowing us to slash more. So it just synergizes beautifully. But yes, this does a good amount of AoE damage. Also, this can be used to mine rocks, his hold down smash, which is why good old Wolf Boy is a fantastic miner. Well, I mean, yes, he looks like a kid, but still. Anyways, honestly, it's kind of sad considering Razer looks like a kid, but he's got like scars riddled in his whole body. But you know, it's how you get one of the best damage dealers in the game, maybe. Maybe you gotta be a real bastard tyrant. Now, you might think to yourself, holy shit, Grin, that sounds amazing. He's a claymore user. He also has a fast attack, which means he gains energy back immensely fast. Not only that, but because he gains so much energy, you're also feeding your other allies his ults and whatnot. So that's amazing. Not only that, but he has an AoE thing that helps give him back his ult. And you might be like, well, why do I want his ult? They probably nerfed his ult, right? Because these two were just so good? No! No, they did not. Okay, so Razer has one of the best ults in the game, hands down. It also looks like one of the, if not the coolest ult in the game. I think it's the coolest ult in the game. Basically, maybe Zhongli dropping a meteor, pretty dope. But he has this giant wolf that overshadows him, like kind of like a guardian angel, which is absolutely sick. Yeah, the wolf within strike alongside Razer's normal attacks. So basically, you summon forth this giant wolf. It's overhead, and he'll basically like ×3 our damage or whatever, because our wolf is also attacking, but he's specifically attacking in electricity damage. Here's the crazy nutty thing, and this scales. The wolf within raises Razer's attack speed and electricity resistance. Electricity resistance, kind of cool. Attack speed, though, it does it by a lot. And there's very, very few things in this game that affect attack speed. You know what one of the only negatives to using a big dual-wielding sword claymore is? Slow attack speed. Well, eat shit. Not anymore. Bang! You can attack so fast. And again, this scales. It's not just like a, hey, now you attack 15% more fast. No, the more you level up the skill, the more crazy the attack speed gets. So if you max out the skill at 10, I cannot wait to see what that looks like. You're just gonna be like, just like a little, just hacking like crazy. Also, causes Razer to be immune to damage inflicted by electricity charge. Kind of cool. This is amazing. Increases Razer's resistance to interruption. So this is something that you'll find a lot, especially if you're dealing with like enemies that are all around you, especially like Spiral Abyss, something that we're just getting laid on thick by a ton of damage. You'll get thrown around a lot and you'll get juggled and you'll be like, fuck, shit. But this way you basically don't get interrupted anymore. You still do, but just not that often. Also, another way you can kind of do the whole don't get interrupted thing is by putting on a shield. That way you don't get interrupted as well. But there's one negative to rocking this form, to his ult, and that is that it disables the charge attack, which honestly makes sense. It would look really weird. Yeah, it would look so weird if you have like a boost to attack speed and you're spinning like crazy, like a tabletop spinner, and then you have this wolf that's just like, just oh god. It'd be pretty ludicrous. But here's also the nerf to this ability. This effect will end when Razer leaves the battlefield. When Razer leaves the field, a maximum of 10 energy will be returned to him off of the duration returning to this skill. So it is cool that it does refund you, but yes. Also, just in case you guys didn't know, this also scales so well. Again, energy recharge bonus, 20 per electric sigil. So if you have 3 sigils, your ult's gonna come back just fast. So it's just absolutely amazing. Again, if you spend, again, you really want to expend your sigils though, because it gives you basically your ult back. Especially if you happen to have his Constellation, which we're going to have in a little bit here. But also, again, this thing scales immensely well. We get an increased damage from Elemental Burst. Soul Companion does that much damage. And then again, 34. That's the thing that's crazy. Some characters can get like a 15 extra attack bonus. With this up, we have a 34% attack bonus. You attack so fast. You're like a wolf just clawing, like mauling a creature. It's amazing. Wolves don't claw things, but still, it's still nuts. Also, it lasts a pretty good amount of time. And its energy cost is not that bad because it synergizes with these two things. I wish so badly that MiHoYo would make more characters like this where their kit directly synergizes with every one of their skills, basically feeding into the whole structure of the character. But that is also why Razer is a very selfish DPS, is because you don't want to switch to another character, pop out his ability, and switch again. You can kind of do that with Claw, but not quite that worth it. Although you do not lose your sigils when you switch to another character, so that's kind of nice. Anyways, then we have his talents, some stuff that's allotted to you at rank 40 or 50 and 70, I believe. Reduces Claw and Thunder cooldown by 18%. Using Lightning Fang resets Claw and Thunder. Yeah, so that's amazing. So basically, if you before you activate your ult, you should always make sure you fly this out. and then you can use it again when you already have activated your ult. So great, that's fantastic. I actually didn't even know that was a thing. I've been not playing him the most optimally, forgive me. But then we have this, this is his 70 talent, this is pretty damn good. When Razer's energy is below 50%, increases recharge by 30. So this character is almost always, especially if you have his Constellation, but even if you don't, he's gonna be one of the characters where he knows you always have his ult. But again, if you switch off of him, you lose that ult. So make sure you do all your other support characters first before you pop that ult. Also, Razer has even more. There's literally nothing in here that's not fantastic. Nothing. Like what? This is his passive talent. He doesn't get like a buff for making food. No, he decreases stamina consumption for sprinting for all party members by 20%. What? Yes! Hell yes! And ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get to this very, very shortly, but I just wanted to keep on gushing with you. Actually, no, let's wait. Let's wait until we do this. But, this is gonna get really, really nutty really, really fast, I have a feeling. Now let's go be a little more effective. Actually, today is the day when we can actually farm this talent book. It is a Friday, so let's actually go do that. And that's how we will showcase Razer's, or some of Razer's damage. And again, I do want to jump into the test arena and mess around with him as well, so that way you guys can get a better idea of like every single thing that he is at 80. But then, after all that's done, all that busy work's done, then we're going to go into Constellation Land, which is going to be so, so sick, and that, again, is what takes this character from being good to being, like, endlessly, endlessly good. So, needless to say, absolutely jazzed. Thrilled, some would say. Also, it's the funnest part in this whole game is doing experience book things, right? Right. So good. Oh, shit. Sorry. One thing I actually forgot to say. So maybe like, but GRINN, as much as he's amazing, he's electricity based, right? So like if you go to fight the electricity boss, you're going to be kind of neuter. If you go to fight electricity slimes, you're going to get your head kicked in. I might be like, oh, because he's so selfish, it's going to be really weird to make use of him when you're fighting his elemental type, right? No. No, our boy gets a pass. Again, I mean, look at him. He's scarred to pieces. He's broken. Of course he gets a pass. He should get a pass. But basically, the thing that makes Razer extra nuts is if we go down to his details. Razer, okay, this is you get like I think 20 to 35 on a base physical damage buff. Now what this means is the white damage number when you're hitting an enemy, that is what we're buffing. So that means Razer's strength, if you build him properly, in my opinion, doesn't come from his electricity, it's just additive. The main thing that you're going to be doing is base high physical damage. So if you build him for physical damage and attack, then you're going to be in such good company, which is why, again, Razer's one of the better DPSs is because he's not a good DPS because he does a good amount of elemental energy, but he just does a lot of base damage, which is why, again, you could smash the ever-living hell out of the electricity boss. And yeah, also you should probably build him for physical attack, crit rate, of course, and recharge rate. Elemental mastery is kind of wasted on him. Yes. Or at least I think it is. I'm not sure, but I think it is. That's just me, though. I could be wrong on that one. Not too confident about that. Here we go. Boom. So we just want to keep building our things. Also, you can be a little bit more effective, and before things pop off in too much of a way, you can keep... Oof. Wait. Those things add up, actually. We're going to keep getting our sigil like that. Also, just because we have them, we're going to get ourselves a hella good shield, so Razer's just a little bit more safe. We're going to keep using our slash, and now we have 3 charges. Now, if we actually hold down our attack... our one thing, we're going to do a bunch of damage, as well as we're also going to get our ult back so incredibly quickly. Also, I'm just trying to wait because I want to do this. That comes back. This again. Not a bad combo. We are getting riddled though, but it's Zhongli is keeping us alive. Look at that damage. Oh, it just chunks. It's so cool to see just enemies' health bars just get eviscerated. Also, because we're dealing so much electricity damage, it's just proving itself to be so cool. Yeah, also with every sigil, we have an increase in our slash. Also, by the way, you don't need to hit enemies with this ability, this one right here, in order to get a crazy amount of ult charge. So you don't need to do that. Also, might as well just drop a hammer. Why not? We'll also do this. Okay, maybe we won't because we're getting staggered. This. We're going to switch to Razer, do this, and now just start chewing through people. Oof, boom. Look at that damage. Oh, that's so cool. I'm sorry. Also, don't forget to use this because it will increase your ability to do that, and it's a little bit less good when you're fighting electricity enemies specifically, but otherwise it's pretty solid. Also, when you come out of your charge, you'll be able to have 3 sigils, which will allow you to get your ult back even faster. Also, again, we're going to switch to you, give him a good bit of shield. Sorry, it's a little bit to manage. I just got Razer, so I'm still not like second nature to Razer yet, which hopefully one day I can very, very much be. Let's use this again, because it's up, because of course it is. Alright, we're a little high in the air, but sure. Also, look at that attack speed, dude. That's so awesome. Also, one of the things I didn't mention is because Razer has such a vicious attack speed and he also uses a claymore, he gets an abnormal amount of stun lock. Basically, you'll just keep juggling an enemy and they'll be like, okay, I guess I'm just getting destroyed. What do I do? And they can't do fuck all. Anyways. Also, I should use I should use refined resin. A little unfortunate. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's hard cut to us being in the training arena, or the test run, because that will be a more accurate version of what you'll have with Razer. They give you a pretty decent amount of books. His talents are a little bit more leveled up, and but he doesn't have any Constellation still. So I want to do this one again, but with Constellation, just so you guys can see the kind of abnormal difference. Sorry. Okay, so we are in the test run. We have him at 80, so he has 200 HP. His attack is still fantastic. I believe if we go into the details, what is his physical attack at right now? Yeah, so they gave him a ton of recharge, smart. They gave him a good amount of crit rate, not bad. You want around like 60 to 50 crit rate, that's not the worst. Yeah, but that's the thing, they did reduce, you took a hit to your physical damage, which I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like physical damage is probably even better than crit rate on him.
I meant elemental mastery.
But again, this is still something that we can absolutely work with. Also, the weapon they gave him is this, mostly good for using his ult, an elemental recharge. Good, but not what you want. You want physical damage. Also, he has no Constellation, so let us get. Oh wait, what is his talents? How much is? Because I think his talents are actually more. Yeah, way more leveled up than me. My talents are like 4 or 5, not 8. So yeah. Anyways, let's do this. This is going to be a kind of a good understanding of what he can do as well. Man, he hits such a wide radius. Also, again, you want to constantly keep that on cooldown. So that's on me. Forgive me. More of that. So we're going to keep building up our charge, and that's going to keep allowing us to claw even more. We're going to do one more claw before we pop off, and I think we should actually get our ult at this point. Yeah, perfect. We're going to do another one. Just keep laying it on. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, our attack speed is so high. I love it so much. Keep your thing on cooldown, by the way. Your claw makes such a big difference. And again, because we have max sigils, that thing's coming back in not even 5 seconds, but like almost 2, which is insane by the time you activate it, you know? And look, we almost have our ult again. We have our ult again, actually. Isn't that nuts? It's so unbelievably sick. Again, as long as you're making sure you keep spamming his one thing, you're going to keep regaining energy like at an accelerated rate. And not even need to do his charge kind of thing. Also, if you happen to get his Constellation, this becomes even more evident, which is absolutely insane. Also, by the time you're done, you actually have, you can go again. So, but by the way, you can expend this and still get ult charge. So if I wanted to, I could do it again. You see how basically you can constantly keep this uptime on your insane attack speed, or your electricity damage, your ult basically. By the way, when you use your ult, you have such a massive radius, which is why this character is also really good for Venti, is because he actually can reach really high because of his direwolf above him. But yes, that is him. Again, very selfish, didn't really need to do this. Honestly, if I was playing better, I would have quickly, before I popped my ult, I would have popped this, activated that, and went in. Now you guys are noticing that the one thing that our boy severely lacks is protection. So, if you happen to have a Noelle, or if you happen to have the new Rocker Girl, who synergizes so well with him, it's insane. Or if you happen to have Zhongli, who has one of the best shields in the game. Also, can put down some good elemental resonance, which gives you back your ult even more. It just stacks in an amazing way. But again, Razer's one thing that he's pretty weak in is he's weak basically. He can get hit and he gets hit hard and then he goes down. But because your wolf increases your attack speed and you're using a claymore user, the things that are gonna kill you are like archers. But if you constantly keep enemies in a stagger, they're not dealing damage to you, so it's not that bad. So even as far as like, he's a weirdly defensive, even though he's not defensive character, because he's so vicious in his way he attacks. Makes sense? Maybe not. Let's keep going. Regardless. But ladies and gentlemen, let us finally crack the seal on Razer, as you guys just seen. Without any of the things, just by leveling him up to 70, and you unlock this talent specifically, increasing your recharge rate and all that, or the same thing with this one. This one decreases the cooldown. I think that's what CD means, cooldown. You can spam this so much, and it's just absurd in a beautiful, lovely way. So just with that, absolutely astonishing. But if you're lucky enough to get Constellation 4, let's say 4 at the max, well, not really, 1 is fantastic, but 4, it basically makes him be able to, it debuffs people, great, and we'll get to the 6th, but 4 is the one you're looking for. 6 is amazing. 6 is really good. I'm just saying that, like, if you're able to get 6, and hot damn. You guys may be like, oh, GRINN, how did you get 6? There's an event going on right now, and one of the banners is our boy, Zhongli, Rocker Girl, and Razer, as well as Chunyun, or whatever his name is. Yeah. But I was lucky enough to get Razer, and unfortunately more Razers, because they were just duplicates. But anyways, I already got him to max Constellation. They kept making it rain with me on Razers. But again, I'm so happy, because that's exactly what I needed in my character roster, is a DPS, and I'm fine with him being selfish. I can rock that, especially when he is as sick as he is, because I love monster movies, and he has the whole werewolf aesthetic. Love it. Anyways, first Constellation. Picking up energy particles increases Razer's damage by 10%. This is always up. The reason why is because our claw is on like a 6-second cooldown, and that's if you have like 0 elemental recharge. Basically, we always have that damage buff. Fantastic first Constellation. An extra 10 damage. Not even electricity damage, just damage. Love it. Fantastic. And then the second one is also nutty. Increases crit rate against enemies with less than 30 health. This incredibly comes in handy when fighting bosses. So when an enemy's right on its end, you're just gonna knock it down really fast. Crit rate is one of the more valuable stats. And if you happen to have like 60 crit rate, which is what people should aim for, then this will just put you almost over the edge. Absolutely nuts. Fantastic to have. You know that claw talent that we do all the time? We get more of it, just passively. Go team. Absolutely nuts. Anyways, when casting Claw and Thunder, decreases enemies' defense by 15%. This is the press, which is the thing that we can also activate when Wolf's above us. So this thing is always happening. Now the funny thing is if you activate your Wolf, he does a huge AoE, like everyone's gonna get hit with this with Claw and Thunder. So everyone's gonna get this debuff. And we can keep stacking it on top of an enemy. And this has a 7-second cooldown. Are you shitting me? Our ability comes back in like 6 seconds at the most. So we're gonna be able to spam. That's with like no sigils. So this is gonna come back so fast. So everyone is gonna be debuffed with defense. Or lower defense always. This is why people say if you want to get Razer, then try to get to this Constellation, because this sets them free. And again, it only goes crazier. Hey, you know that ability that never's on cooldown, or alt that's always up? We get more damage, more everything. Beautiful, lovely, magic, all that. But ladies and gentlemen, as it goes in this game, the 6th Constellation is the meanest, baddest thing you'll ever see. Every 10 seconds, Razer's sword charges up, causing the next normal attack to release lightning. That deals 100% of Razer's attack as element damage. The end. There's more, but let's just go with that. That's what? First of all, this has an amazing effect to where your weapon is just supercharged with electricity. Also, I do believe that it doesn't actually count until you actually contact with an enemy. So you can swing your sword. I don't believe it will go away. You have to actually physically hit something in order for it to expel the charge. That's 100% of Razer's attack is now fully into electricity damage. Now this would be really bad if it was permanent, but because it's on a 10-second cooldown, we can get back to what Razer does best, which is physical damage. Now I do believe also this stacks on top of that in a weird way, so you actually don't even get the negative at that. But still. Now, that was good. That's just like a cool effect. Extra bonus stuff, not bad, but it's the second part. When Razer is not using Lightning Fang, which is our alt, our big wolf, so when our wolf is on cooldown, a lightning strike on an enemy will grant Razer an electric sigil of electricity. So our first opening attack will get us 1 extra sigil, which will already get us going on our lightning attack, as well as it says a lightning strike. So I'm pretty sure that means like felch, any lightning damage. Does this mean we gain twice the rate? Maybe. We'll see. That last part I heard was nuts, but I'm just not. I'm kind of. It could mean so many things, which is why I want to test it. But anyways, let's just look at Razer now with his weapon. Yes. So you see that? Yeah. So we're melee attacking. You guys can see our electricity, or our weapon is still imbued with electricity damage. Yeah, you can see it sparking. Ah, it's so sick. But it's only until we actually impact on something does it actually get expelled. But it's so cool. It's so cool. Actually, let's go test over here with these enemies before we jump into the ruins. But now Razer should be fully undone, which should be so sick to see. So again, just the first attack that we do should give us a sigil. Yes, it's a lightning strike. Perfect. Now I'm curious. I want to equip Felch actually. But again, if we wait 10 seconds until our thing comes back. But I guess that 10 seconds comes back faster than I think. So I could get my sigils. Yeah, I got max sigils without even having to cast my thing, and that could... Actually, I really want to see something. So again, if we attack, I keep using my sigils. Come on, sigils. Claw and Thunder. Okay, so we have one thing. I'm going to activate this. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm getting juggled. But we're going to activate this. And we're going to hit this again. Okay, so no, it doesn't add double. It just basically it lets you crude sigils way faster. And our sigils debuff enemies, so that's why we're hitting so much harder. But now we have max sigils. We already have our things, so that's a bit of a waste. But even still, that's absolutely lovely. Again, I don't think that would work then if you have Felch, just electrocuting things. I think it has to literally be you. Well, actually, maybe let's quickly go try. We could try Felch. I don't think that's how it works, but maybe. All right, here we go. Felch, activate. Razer. No, I only have the one sigil that I get from my... Okay, so maybe it's just our first attack. It gives us like a huge advantage for that. And if we just do this... Actually, I don't want to do that. I don't do that, actually. Let me switch to this. So that actually, I want to see. How much cooldown did we get refunded? Half. Not bad. It's kind of a little bit of waste, but still. Just want to heal up my characters also before we get into the next dungeon. So I want to have the best case scenario. Yeah, I feel like that may look like it's not that good, but basically, whenever you go into an encounter, you always have one sigil. Awesome. Now you have 2 sigils. Now those 2 sigils helps you get your talent back faster. I'm pretty sure that's what regen means, by the way. I could be way off. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Which affect both your talent recharging as well as your main wolf, your main alt recharging. But yeah, that just lets you basically get to 3 stacks that much faster. And when you have higher stacks, that means your talents come back faster. That means your claw comes back faster. That also means you regenerate more of your alt faster. But, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us jump into this domain once again, but this time with Razer fully popping off. Well, not quite fully popping off, but doing really good. Supposedly. Well, I shouldn't say like fully pops off. A little bit less than pops off. The reason why is because Razer isn't fully kitted out yet. I want to get him there. He's gonna get there pretty soon. I have to grind some artifacts and stuff to make him really nuts, but I'm not there yet. So we're a little bit still neutered. Also, we might as well use his alt just to give everything the best case scenario. We'll also do this. Our alt should come back relatively fast, so that we can do this. Fuck it, we'll also top it off with this, Shangling. Might as well throw Boba out, because she is not a selfless DPS like our boy Razer. And now we should be dealing just a good bit of damage. Here we go. That comes back as well. Oh, just so much damage now. Oh, also, we're doing 2,000. That defense decrease is nuts. Also, our electric damage is still absolutely ludicrous. And again, we're just dealing so much attack speed. We're going to use more of this, decrease your defense, keep that up. And we're just still chewing through people. Still chewing through people. We're going to do that. We're going to switch off to this. We're going to rock around a little bit with you. We should have his ult back. There we go. And drop one of those again. By the way, I know I'm supposed to be just using Razer, but I did want to show you guys the whole picture of Razer. Yeah, but basically, if you do run Razer, you should run him with some sort of shield character as well. That way you're not that much weaker, you know. Otherwise you will be. Also, again, getting his ult back immediately after you're done using it is tied to using your slash. So keep that up, and you're going to be absolutely good. And again, this is the moment when you could use other people if you wanted, but I don't really think this guy's going to hit me too much. Especially slimes, when you take away their armor, they become very weak. We're going to use another one of these. I could have burned my sigil to get my ult back because we were right there basically. And he's just dead. Again, this whole time, this whole experience, I was nowhere near dead because I always use Zhongli to give Razer a pretty good ult. I also tried to keep his pyre up, which kept giving me ult charge for every other character like Zhongli if I did need to CC somebody because I was dealing with an archer that was kicking my head in. Stuff like that. But anyways, these are condensed resin. Ladies and gentlemen, Razer is just awesome. To put him really simply, he's one of the best damage dealers in the game. He basically, if you get him to max Constellation, becomes a 5-star. I know you hear this a lot in this game, that when you unlock their Constellation, they become like super powerful. Razer's one of the like undoubtedly exceptions to that rule. Like on a Diluc level of like nonsense damage level things. Also, he's got a wolf over his head. Like what? You shitting me? Yes. Absolutely nuts. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, again, Razer, if you happen to get him, I would highly advise leveling him up, unless you just don't like the way he plays. Again, there's the test arena or the test run feature in the game. Go check out and see if you vibe with him. Again, his visceral attack speed, also just his aesthetic overall looks badass. He's kind of like a thief, but also the fact that his abilities come back so fast. And his ult is just awesome. You have this towering wolf overhead. And the way that things, unlike other characters, the reason why he's a selfish DPS is because each one of his abilities synergizes within itself so well. And I really hope in the future there's characters like this in the game that aren't necessarily like a good support like Zhongli is, but instead is a good just base character. And again, I feel like the combination of either Razer and Zhongli is great, but Razer and the Rocker Girl that was just released is out of this world. Especially considering she basically does everything that he doesn't in a great way as well. I don't want to go into it, but if you can get this one, then you can actually make them really viable. But if you can get them this one right here, it becomes even crazier. In fact, I think this is going to be one of the best damage combinations in the game, period. So if you can't get Zhongli, but you happen to get a lot of her and a lot of Razer, I would highly advise that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you've been nothing shy of lovely. Thank you so much for your time. This has been our boy Razer in all of his crazy DPS glory. I cannot wait to showcase him when I have him perfected, so to speak, maxed out level 80, artifacts to boot. Everything on him right now is kind of just fine. It gets by, but it's not like popping off in a huge monstrous way, you know? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.